The Triumph Thruxton was born out of the 60s as a homologated, cafe racer version of the much-loved Bonneville. The modern-day Thruxton aims to recapture the look and spirit of the original, but adds some modern-day refinement to appeal to both new riders and a more mature crowd ready to relive their youth, just without the need for a kickstart and a drip tray. As soon as you look at the scales, you'll know the Thruxton is only really a cafe racer in aesthetic, albeit a very pretty aesthetic. But just as in the 60s, this bike actually borrows its frame and mechanicals from its next of kin, the Bonneville, which in this case is a thoroughly modern 865cc fuel-injected parallel twin that develops 86 brake horsepower. And here, it's been slightly retuned so that peak power comes in a little bit earlier. It also boasts drop bars, a chrome chain guard, upswept pipes, rear set pegs, and these really lovely retro-inspired Lucas-style grips. The thing is, when you're on the bike, the riding position isn't anywhere near as aggressive as it looks. The drop bars are actually set quite high, so there's very little pressure on your wrists. The fly screen does a great job at deflecting wind over you at high speeds, and the mirrors work well provided that you've adopted that tucked-in riding stance. Plus, despite the single-seater setup, this racing cowl can actually be removed to accommodate a passenger. Unfortunately, like the Bonneville, there are a few details on here that let the overall finish down, such as the clumsily located rectifier and ignition chamber, there's no lock on the fuel filler cap, and this side stand is really difficult to get a foot to. The Thruxton doesn't bark and bite like a true cafe roadster. Instead, it's smooth and refined, and that makes it a surprisingly capable all-rounder, whether it's for commuting, for polishing, or if you fancy ride-outs like this one, looking a bit dapper. It will do the ton, but you have to bear in mind that as you build up speed, you do begin to notice a lot of vibration in the bars. And although the rear shocks are adjustable for preload, they're still very basic items. If you fancy the look of a classic cafe racer but would prefer the mild manners of a modern motorcycle, then the Thruxton is a fine vintage. But the best thing about this bike, or indeed the entire Modern Classics range, is the massive aftermarket community standing by. You see, buying a Thruxton is just the start. It's making it your own that's the fun bit.